I absolutely love funny movies. In recent years, I've really tried to branch out on my types of movies that I watch, but I'm still a sucker for funny movies. In his first starring role, Steve Martin played Navin R. Johnson in the 1979 film called The Jerk. The basic plot of the movie is that Navin was born to a very poor family. When he grows up, he moves out to sort of find himself, to grow up, to take on responsibility. And as he's holding down a job as a gas station attendant, he sort of accidentally invents something and becomes a millionaire. He loses all of it, though, in a lawsuit. And then comes one of my favorite scenes. So Navin is writing checks, a check to each person who has gone cross-eyed due to his invention called the OptiGrab. So he's writing these $1.10 checks or somewhere around there. And he gets into this huge fight with his wife, Marie. And so he begins to leave, right? He says, I had enough of this. I don't need any of this. I'm getting out of here. And so as he goes, he starts grabbing things to take with him. And each time he grabs something, he sees it, and he says, that's all I need. I don't need anything else. But then he sees something else that he wants in his mind that he needs, and says, and this. But that's it. That's all I need. And so by the end of this scene, right, he's walking down the street. He has his pants around his ankles. He has shorts on, so it's okay. He has a robe on also. But he's walking down the street with all of this stuff in his arms. And so as he's walking out, he says, and this, and that's all I need. And this is the list of stuff that he has. He says, this ashtray, and this remote control, and this paddle game, and this magazine, and this chair. And I don't need one other thing. Now, this scene, in my opinion, is hilarious. And part of its hilarity comes from the fact that it's just so ridiculous. Right? It's ridiculous when we see it in the movie that he burdens himself with so much stuff that he can't even walk. He has a hard time holding it all. It's ridiculous, but whether we want to admit it or not, there's a little bit of Navin Johnson in each one of us. We go through life constantly finding things that we just absolutely have to have, right? We need them. If I just get this next thing, if I would just get that new car that I've been having my eye on, if I just get the latest iPhone, right, the iPhone 10, if I get that Louis Vuitton purse or that tailor-made driver, if I take that vacation that I've just been dreaming of, then everything is going to be great. If I just finish that class I'm dreading, if I just get out of high school or just get a job or whatever it is, we think that if we just get that one thing, that we're not going to need anything else, right? We're finally going to be happy. But we know what happens, right? We get that next thing, and we're satisfied somewhat for a little while, but we're unfulfilled. We still want the next thing on our list. Maybe we add something else to that list. The holy season of Lent, which we enter into today, is a time where we consciously drop those things that we thought we just couldn't live without. Right? We impose penances on ourselves to show us that those things that we have, that we desire to have, even though they might be good, maybe not necessarily bad for us, that those things aren't what really matter. Right? If we can't be happy without those things, then we're not going to be happy with them, even if we have them. And so Lent is the time where we prepare, right? We go through this intense time where we prepare, we look forward to the celebration of Easter, the resurrection of Jesus from the dead. And so to do that, we take this time, these 40 days, to enter into the desert with Jesus, to fast and to pray, right? So that we can be ready for that celebration. This season reminds us of the one thing that really matters, right? Knowing, loving, and serving Jesus in this life so that we can be happy with Him forever in the next, right? That's what the Baltimore Catechism tells us is the reason why we were created. It's only in knowing, loving, and serving Jesus that we are going to be happy in this life and in the life to come. So if you haven't seen the movie, I apologize, but I have to spoil the ending in order to finish my homily. So you're going to have to deal with it. If you haven't seen it and you're older, it's fine. If you're younger, don't watch it. But in the end, right, Navin ends up homeless. Actually, it's the beginning that we find out that he's homeless. Right, we see him on the street, and he sort of talks to the camera, and the whole movie is a remembering and telling of what led him to this point, for him to be on the street. And so he's homeless, he's dirty, and all he has are the clothes on his back and a thermos that he had bought for his wife Marie years earlier. And so his family is looking for him, and finally at the end of the movie, they find him, and they put him in the car and they take him home. Right, Marie is with them, and she takes him back to, right, she accepts his apology after a shower, of course, because he's pretty smelly. But even though he's lost all of that stuff that he acquired whenever he became wealthy, even though he lost all of that stuff that he, as he was walking out, had to grab because he thought he needed it, he's still happy, right? Because he has back what's really important to him. He has Marie, he has his family. In a sense, he has his life back. And so the lesson for us is that all of the stuff that we think we need, that we're so attached to, it gets in the way of what's really important, or what should really be important. And so as we begin our journey today, 40 days, let us go with Jesus into the desert. And let us go not dragging all kinds of stuff along with us. Right? Oh, I just need this lamp and this magazine like Navin, or this and that, whatever it is that we're occupied with. But let us go into the desert empty-handed. Empty-handed and trusting that God will sustain us, that God will give us whatever we truly need, that God Himself will be enough for us, that He will make us happy. And so setting out together on this journey with Jesus toward His hour, toward His triumph over sin and death, let us go forth saying with Navin Johnson, and this, Him, the Lord, this is all that I need. I don't need one more thing.